shut it straight away so there's no dodginess.
Oh, we are live, mate.
You sure?
We're live. Just
but
pull up the Discord screen. I'm watching us on YouTube with the video.
So it is actually working, right?
It's working. So just show the Discord screen our beautiful faces.
Well, I've got live here watching. No, see, it's this. That's what's.
All right. So just hit full screen on that.
So
you had it beautifully just before we went live.
So how did I get away with
that? Well, hover over the video. Oh, we got GLW poker dealing in the chat.
Yeah. So it's Trigger.
Trigger.
All right, chaps.
So head back to Discord.
Right, Discord. Right.
Just Chrome or wherever your Discord chat is.
This is here. As you can see on the camera.
Just press full screen on that.
Right.
So hover over your face and in the corner, the bottom right corner, full screen. Now it looks fantastic, apart from my face is taking up most of the screen.
There we go. Jesus wept.
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, I'll come off the.
Just leave it on that, and we can chat, and we're good to go.
Cool. Oh my God! I look like I remember back in the day. I gave the phone went, and my granddad picked up the remote control, and that's exactly the face I've just pulled. Jesus. I'm going to hang up on you on this WhatsApp call.
Yeah. All right. So just whack full screen on that and let it go, and we can chat away.
So full
Make sure your face is big, not mine.
Jesus, I'm no good when it comes to stuff like this. Jesus Christ.
Is that good?
I think so. I've got YouTube on the other computer, so hopefully this goes. There we go. Jesus wept. Anyway, is that Guy Trigger and Gareth? Is this actually going out live? You can hear and see everything. I know you'll see.
We are live, and the best thing is this will be immortalized in a YouTube video for everyone to watch.
Cheers, pal. Fucking hell. So hopefully we'll never do this again. Jesus. Right, so Trigger just said we're live, right? Perfect. So thanks for help there, Adam.
Oh, good, mate.
For those that are joining us, all four of you, and me and Adam will probably count as two of them. We're just doing a little test run, see how things have went over the last couple of months with Adam's Twitch channel and mine and Gareth's YouTube channel, Dealer's Choice. If you have any questions on the chat, what I must apologise is I've got this laptop here that I'm talking to you guys and Adam with, and to my left, your right, I have another one
with the chat.
So Trigger's on about, he's learning to use Streamlabs as well. So Trigger, if I can do it, any fucker can. So yes, Adam, how's life been since Twitch started?
It's been fine, mate. I've actually really enjoyed it. I thought I would, to be honest. It always looked a lot of fun. That was the main reason for getting involved. I'll try and talk into the camera, but I also got the chat on another screen. It's fun, just hanging out and chatting with my mates just makes grinding significantly more bearable, especially for a downer. Sharing fun and profitable moments with your mates is pretty fun too. And I've just got into messing around a bit more with it. Like I don't know if you've been watching lately, but I know you have been. But if you've caught any of my scenes where just zoom out and be be a cricketer for a few seconds, or be a Mexican in a burrito for a few seconds. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's good fun.
for the ones that don't follow Adam and do follow me, Adam is he's a new streamer. He's been doing it for the last month and a half, 2 months since we spoke.
Wow, about 3.5 actually. It's flown by during these times, Corona times.
And Adam has evolved into a Twitch regular to the extent where he has little bin scenes where his head will be in the bin or in the dumpster, as it were. He is also just a wee notification there about it. He has also evolved to when he gets the old 100,000 chips, the old Test century in the old How's That cricket, where he puts his face on maybe Peterson or somebody.
That one is Stokes.
Is it Stokes?
Stokes.
Okay.
Ben Stokes. Yeah.
Having a lot of good feedback about your channel here on some of the guys on the chat.
Thank you, Trigger.
So I mean, Adam, from the chat we had and from the video that you done with your partner Carolina, to where we are now, I think it's evolved massively to the extent where I think when you final tabled was it the $33 or the $22 Stadium Series?
Yeah, $22, yeah.
I think we had, was it not 4 figures when it came to people watching?
I think we had a few raids come in where we did tip over that, but we averaged like a few hundred viewers. I maintained an average of a few hundred. That's really sick, obviously.
It's unreal because, I mean, you know, yourself, very modest person. We used to do the marble streams where there was like 5 of us watching and it was the 5 people that were involved, to the extent where...
Yeah, that happened again.
But yeah, no, it's brilliant. So you know, it says a lot about yourself how you've taken us by the balls, the scruff of the neck, and just like went with it. And more can be said with the fact it's not. I don't think from watching you, and I know there's a few of the regs that watch you as well. I don't think it's affected your play at all. I mean, maybe you can elaborate more on that.
Yeah. I would say I play a lot less tables, so that's the main difference. So when I'm on the stream, I like to play ideally like 4 tables and just relax, you know, focused on each decision and interact with the chat in between. And I feel like that works out fine. Like on my own, I'd usually play 8 to 12 tables typically if I'm starting a session, and more on a Sunday. But yeah, obviously showing opponents what my cards are is never going to be amazing, but I hope that the fact that I'm playing less tables makes up for that somewhat, at least. And yeah, the marble streams, just messing around with mates. Like, at the moment, there's a lot of series on where we're just playing every day, and when I'm not playing, I want to be off the computer or definitely off poker. So yeah, I think marbles I plan on taking some time off in September, and marbles I'm sure will be a part of that. Got to keep putting some content out there, but I'd say it's been fairly easy getting used to it. Like most of the content's already there. Most of the content is me playing, and you know, the vast majority of the time I commentate on it. Sometimes I'm a bit miserable and just like slouch in my chair and click buttons and wallow in my own misery. But no, it's fun, and I love it when people get in the chat and ask questions, even if they seem silly. Like I'm happy to answer it. Happy to talk about nonsense like sport. Cricket and snooker have been decent topics. I'm not sure how much they've appealed to the North American viewers or the Scottish viewers for snooker.
How's that?
Mike Leonard, what's up, mate? The unshookest. Let me just post in my Discord actually that we're live. I got a bit carried away with getting that set up. That was my plan. But yeah, take the reins, Ross.
Yeah.
No pressure.
Yeah. So I mean, if there is anybody here, we have Gareth, Mike Leonard, Trigla. If you want to share it on your social media accounts, it'll be brilliant. It'll mean a lot to me, and I know it'll mean a lot to Adam. The more we can get out there, we can have a little chat with everybody. We can interact. Well, I've got a little charity bit of chat coming up. We're going to be talking all things poker, sport, life related. I'll be sharing the last couple of weeks, month or so that I've been traveling around, doing the poker work and playing poker, seeing what life out of the UK is when it comes to COVID. Um, Now, I know that one of the people in the chat, Trigger, you were in Talon as well, so you'll know what I'm talking about, but a lot of people might not know what we're talking about. So, from that content, I'm more than happy to ask any questions, but me and Adam will chat away. If you do have any questions for Adam, I know he'll be more than happy to answer, as will I. Adam will be talking about all things poker, because, when it comes to hand histories and streaming, out of the two of us, I am like a potato with this shit, right? So, Adam will try his best, which will probably be better than me, and we'll just take it from there. But if you do have any questions, I know Adam's got his Discord up. I've got mine up, which I've not really got that many followers on Discord. On the YouTube channel, by all means, fire away. YouTube as well, Twitter, Facebook. Do it. Like, share, and get some chat. So, you're a big snooker and cricket fan, you were saying, anyway.
Yeah, I watched snooker since I was like 3. I've always liked watching sport on TV, like since a kid, a baby, basically. When I was 4, I got a quarter-sized snooker table for Christmas, and that got a lot of use. Unfortunately, I never became anything other than terrible at any cue sport, but I still love it. And a lot of times at the World Series, we'll meet up with mates and go to Griff's Pool Hall in Vegas. Like a lot of people go there. If anyone's watching this, you played pool in Vegas, you probably played there. And it's fantastic. Yeah, hopefully you go over to Vegas next year and can trade some racks and pool.
Yeah.
But always loved watching snooker. Higgins was my favourite. My first match I ever watched was him against Paul Hunter, or the first final I ever saw.
John Higgins,
yeah.
Wizard from
Alex was
Yeah, Alex might have been a bit before your time, Adam, if I can remember your age correctly.
Yeah.
But yeah, the old Wizard from Wishaw, a big Celtic fan, unlike myself. I seen Shirley, our mutual friend, the old reporter. She had got you a little shout out from the Scottish snooker ref.
Michaela Tabb, she certainly did. That was a really cool thing for Shirley to do and Michaela to do for me. From within the Crucible, personalised video message from the lovely Michaela Tabb. What else could I ask for?
Well,
cheered me right up. I watched it. I watched it during the stream, and my mood changed dramatically from it.
Oh, it was quality.
Seeing that.
She had asked a week or so ago if I knew who your favourite snooker player was, and I had said the boy that comes out. Scottish. The Smiths, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you were mining for information when you asked me these questions.
No, because we're talking about something, and she goes, "You're taking the you're taking the fucking piss, aren't you?" I went, "What do you mean?" "Oh, because he's Scottish." I was like, "Shirley, fuck off, eh? Just because he's Scottish doesn't mean he's any less better than anyone else." And she goes, "Well, there must be somebody else." So then I rattled off Stephen Hendry, and she's just like, "Yeah, taking the piss." But to be fair, the girl that did send you the message is a Scottish referee on the circuit.
Oh yeah, the Scots crush snooker.
Yes, we do.
And a snooker referee as well.
But what I did like about the video, if nobody's seen it, I do think it's on the Facebook page or Twitter.
Shirley tweeted it.
She tweeted it. Is the referee in the background when the girl was doing this video? The bald referee gives it a little fucking sly wave, and I was like, that's quality. Absolutely.
It was really quality. I'm really happy with it.
Yeah, Mike said that he walks out to the Smiths, and that makes him pretty decent.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm not as big a fan of the Smiths as Adam, but a lot of their stuff is quality tunage. And Adam does, if you do watch his show, he does have a lot of the Amazon music playing. And it's a lot of mixture of new to 2000 area, 90s and 80s, and earlier than that. So it is good. It's always good to get
working on my cheese playlist as well. I've said this for a while, but it's one day I just sit down and do it and bash out like a 600 song cheese playlist. just getting lost on YouTube, listening to 80s bangers.
Banging.
Yeah, mainly just 80s to current day indie alternative.
Brilliant.
Is basically what I bash out.
Nothing wrong with bashing it out, mate. So, since you have streamed or started streaming, the one significant live video that I think we'll both agree on was the second place finish in the Stadium Series, which we alluded to when we said that you got over 1,000 viewers at one point. Now, shoot me down if I'm wrong. Have you done anything like more elusive than that since you've started streaming?
No, that was the biggest score while streaming, on or off stream. By a lot, it's tough to come across whatever 68k scores. Like that's a tough score to beat.
Plus a 5k,
especially at a $22. Yeah, won a few 5k seats, and I've not cashed anything 3k plus. Won a fair few 3k seats too.
No, I mean on
high stakes.
When you came second, you got the 5k seat on top of the 68.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, there was a 5k seat added up top. Unfortunately, I didn't convert anything from that. Yeah, it hasn't gone so great at the high stakes. I mean, I prefer playing mid stakes. Like micro to mid stakes is obviously where anyone does best because the players are worse. There's less professionals. There's a percentage of the field. It's just a fact that that's how it is. I feel like I do pretty well in the deep stages from converting deep runs to final tables, but who knows? That could just be variance. You never get much of a sample size to talk about it, but I feel that's where my strength plays, and getting down to the final table from like a massive field where the pay jumps start mattering to people. If your average buy-in is like $3, which a lot of the final few tables was in the 22, and you're shot taking the 22, so that's at the higher end of your buy-in range, then you're going to be sweating the pay jumps, of course. And it's not to say I'm not sweating the pay jumps, but I'm more considering what they think about the pay jumps. So,
of course,
yeah, that's how it ends up working out. And I've done well in the last 12 months in those $0 to $55 buy-in tournaments.
I mean, from what I gather, because I mean, I watched the majority along with a lot of people. Hello, Blaine says hello. All right, Blaine, how's it going, son? I watched along with quite a few of your regulars up to the final table, then the final table. Now, from the final table, which I think was 8-handed, or because you lost 2 people on the final table bubble.
Oh yeah, maybe, yeah. I can't remember.
From when the final table started until you went heads up with the guy from Brazil, I think it was.
I think he was from Russia.
Was he Russian? That time scale was about a drop in the ocean compared to the amount of time the heads up took.
Yeah.
And with no disrespect to yourself and no respect to this guy, because I don't know him, I know you, but I think it's safe to say, and you probably admit it was an absolute drain, because the guy was all over the place the way he played.
He was unpredictable. I will give him that. And he made it tough. He used large bets. He led out in spots where people don't do that, and I'm not used to playing against that style. I probably ended up overfolding to him, and I do think I did run bad, but I'm not going to make excuses. I probably should put that guy away probably 70% of the time, like in a deep, slow structure like that. But.
I mean, what I seen when you were heads up, there was times where you were re-raising the river thinking you were massive, and he was flat calling like the second nuts. When anybody else would just went, you know what, here, get it up you, and the other person would have called it off because he was like, there was like one hand beating him. For instance, there was 3 spades there. He had the king whatever of spades, and he's just flattening your raise on the river. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? And I know that Benny, good friend of you, good friend of the show, everybody knows Benny Glazer. Benny was in the chat as well, and Benny couldn't decipher this either. It was a total mindfuck. Let's not beat around the bush here, Adam. This guy, you didn't know what he had.
No, he of course not. You can't. If someone doesn't, no disrespect to the guy, but let's assume he didn't know what he was doing. It's tough to account for that. And like you say, he was all over the place. the way he played the rivers was so incongruent with the rest of his game, as in firing off bets with any hand, like bluffs, value, and everything in between, and then to just hating value betting or value raising the river. There were plenty of spots where I could have just won most of the tournament there because our hands were that good, and I was supposed to call at him. But it worked out that he checked back, and it did work out in my favor once or twice where I had a bluff catcher and he didn't go for value. So it's not like he just magically made the right decision every time, but it was extremely frustrating seeing this, and I did have to stop a few times and genuinely take a few deep breaths, not just for comic effect. needed.
Yeah, it was
to just relax a little.
It was an absolute complete mind fuck. Now I don't pride myself on being the best poker player ever. Never has been. But from what I said, just from watching this, it was like, how can this guy flat call because you would play it a way that when he flats calls you, that brilliant, here we go, here's the chips, and when the chips are going in the other direction, you're like, what the fuck's he just flat calling with that for? And it was a complete mindfuck. I mean, I think did it not take like 2 hours or over 2 hours to do the heads up?
I think there were at least 2 breaks. So yeah, at least that time, I think.
It was crazy. But, I mean, I'm not going to dwell too much on it, but for a $22 tournament to have such a big score in 68 grand cash and then a 5k seat into the main, phenomenal. Great tournament by Stars to have with the volume of players that they had for that event. Now, moving on.
Not to mention it was a freeze-out.
Yes.
It was a freeze-out tournament.
Yes. But it made the guarantee, or did it overlay?
Yeah, it smashed the guarantee on that one. The Stadium Series was in trouble, but the Sunday tournament's absolutely smashed. I think it nearly doubled it.
Yeah.
But then they did have overlays like here and there.
But still, like $22 to get over 70k total, including the seat, is phenomenal. Which, you know, you don't get that much in certain tournaments nowadays, but it was crazy and well played to yourself and to unknown Russian.
Yeah, in fact, I mean, I believe that he was a new player to the game, and his strategy was that I'm going to mash some buttons in some specific ways, and they turned out to be really good. That's what I reckon. Because there was some suggestion of ghosting, and it crossed my mind, but like, who's he hitting up to come in and ghost me to play like this? Like,
maybe he was ghosting himself.
Donk pot the flop. Yeah.
Maybe
Donk pot the flop on Ace Deuce Deuce Rainbow. It's like, it was puzzling, and I feel like I held it together fairly well. Maybe I could have adjusted a little bit more, but I tried to play somewhat normally and take into consideration some of the stuff he was doing. But it's tough when, like, I'm not sure he knew what he was doing himself. Like and he was fairly balanced. I'll give him that. Like he balanced his bullshit with some value, and then he was fairly balanced, and I think he was mindful of that. So fair play to him for that, especially.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you can beat yourself up much because, I mean, as a lot of people in the live stream said, if you had won a tournament for 68k plus, you would have been happy about it. The way it played out, I don't think you can beat yourself up much about that, Adam, because as you said, I'm a fairly novice player compared to yourself and Benny and that. But I think we all do agree on something. This guy, you couldn't play against him properly. Because when you thought you had him by the balls, he's flat calling with the second nuts. And you get that in poker, you'll know yourself. A seasoned reg, as it were. Not a withered reg, a seasoned one. And you do get that when you come up against people. That could very well have been his second tournament ever. And he's like an absolute super net, or he is the anti-net, which is trying to fuck with your head. So that when you eventually did get you win, I think it was aces versus Jack 10 or Jack Queen.
Yeah, it was probably a bit vicious jam for me with that, but yeah.
No, but it doesn't matter. It's see, this is what this right here. You are the master of beating yourself up about shit like this, and you shouldn't. Come on.
Well, I think it's something in between beating myself up and being critical of myself for the future. If I get in that spot again, where I'm against a guy playing that kind of style, I want to be best prepared for it.
Yeah.
And like you say, it's how tournaments work. Like unless you win the tournament, you're never going to be super happy. And if I do ship a tournament, the first emotion I feel is relief.
Yeah.
You know, yes, I didn't bottle it, or it's fucked. But like, I don't know. I guess that's how I think. And maybe that is a mental leak, but I think a lot of people will share that emotion where when you get the notification saying you won X amount of dollars, you're not like, yes. Yeah. It's like on Party Poker when you bust a tournament, congratulations, you received a min bounty that you got several hours ago and you stone bubbled the tournament. I don't want to hear congratulations.
Congratulations, motherfuckers.
Sure. GG Poker. That was very unfortunate.
Yeah, that was very unfortunate. You fired fucking 5 streets with fuck all.
ACR, would you like to keep watching the tournament?
Fuck off.
Come on. I think stars probably do it the best, where they just leave it there. You can dwell on it if you want. There's no tilting messages.
Yeah. So, moving on from that, do you feel that you've learned a lot more about yourself as a player with the streaming, with the talking to the chat, where you're getting like people you've never met following you and asking you, oh, so Adam, what did you feel about this spot? Or how did you feel X other player done in this spot? Do you feel you've learnt more about yourself on the ways of handling the chat, talking to everybody, interacting with stuff like that?
Yeah, I think it's been a useful exercise just to have myself constantly under review as well. If I can't just, I have to, in my head, I have to be able to justify everything that I do. And I wouldn't say that's made me shy away from doing some of the stuff I would do. I still do some ridiculous shit and I make mistakes probably every few minutes on the stream. So yeah, I definitely am more, I was going to say critical, which is true, but I'm more, I don't know, I feel under review more, which is good. Like going forward, I should improve from that. In terms of myself, yeah, I'm fairly happy with how the chat's been great, to be honest. It's always a fairly good environment. And I've banned very few people. The main people I've banned are like bots coming in here spamming to buy followers or stuff like that. A few weirdos, but whatever, like people just come in and it's generally enjoyable.
There's various amounts of banter, as it were, and I think you add to that, as we said, with when you get when somebody follows you, you get the office, the English office, or the UK office.
Yeah.
And when you get somebody subscribing, it jumps in your face as well, which is all little stuff like that. Little stuff like when you hit your 100k the century and all stuff like that. It adds to the entertainment in comparison to other streamers, which we won't name, who just go off their tits. I also feel you handle yourself very well when you get like a 1-outer, only calling people the old C word every now and then.
I'll drop a C bomb.
Does it make you a bad person?
Well, no, I was thinking about it the other day. Like, imagine 2025, and won't get too deep into it, but let's say cancel culture in 2025 is crucifying everyone who's ever dropped a C-bomb. I'm in trouble.
You meet on the crucifix together, big champ.
But yeah, I mean, I thought about it, and I asked a few people, like, oh, it's fine.
Of course, it's
all in Pav, for example, C-bombs as much as me. So
does your mate, the Australian guy who's living in Thailand at the moment?
Philippines, Kaki T.
Yeah. But I've noticed that primarily a lot of Scottish people and a lot of the Aussies do use the cunt word, as it were. And it's how you use it, it's how you perceive it. Like, he's a good cunt in Scotland is like, he's a good person. But you can also, the way it's said, as I said, the Aussies use it. When I went over to Sydney last year, I thought I was back home when I was listening to this shit, man. It was quality. But yeah, no, it's a friendly channel. It's as I said, it has evolved in the few months that you've had it on. Do you think being the family man that you are with the wee man and the missus and that, does that help towards the stream? Because you have the cats obviously bouncing about every now and then. We
Yeah.
do see the wee man comes into the stream with the missus. Does that contribute to anything at all, Adam?
Well, I think it's a combination because
Mm-hmm.
I thought about streaming for like 3 years, or like I put serious thought into it before actually starting. I always thought it would be fun, but as you know, I like to travel a bunch, and even since having somewhat of a base in Mexico, I've still traveled around a good amount of the year, and that doesn't make it easy for streaming. Um, I will try and do a few streams while I'm in the States in next month.
Mm-hmm.
But I got my setup here, and it was an investment to like buy a proper PC which has the capability to do it, and a webcam and a mic, and like being asked to do it, like being in the same place where I can have a schedule. So it's a combination of having Lucas and the pandemic, to be honest.
Yeah.
The fact that there was no traveling in the upcoming months. Thought, okay, right, this is probably a good time to start. And people are watching Twitch more than they would be if they were working all the time or in a daily routine all the time. So there's that too. And not that I'm particularly strategic with it. Like I don't stream Sundays, but that's more for wanting to play more tables myself. I don't really target what time to stream. I just get on, and I'm not sweating the view account. It's like pretty chill most days. And people that I knew before or just recently, if they drop in and ask questions, regulars or otherwise, it's just good fun. And I enjoy it.
So, have you been to? I don't know what it's like in Mexico. What is live poker like at the moment over there? Is there live poker, or even near the borders, or is it just shit?
I've never played a hand of live poker in Mexico. That's mainly wanting to just keep my head down. I don't want someone in there to hand and mob me and then tell everyone in the casino, and then that'd be a number on my head.
Okay.
Perhaps that's over paranoid. Like being the whitest person in Mexico and barely speaking a lick of Spanish isn't the best combination either.
I think you're the whitest person in Scotland if you were to ever come here, Adam, to be honest with you, buddy.
Wow, yeah. So there's that, and I can't imagine it would be that there are lucrative games in Mexico. Mm-hmm. But if I just walk into my local casino, it's probably less than a 1-2 game. So the upside really isn't that big, and the downside is disaster. The potential max downside is disaster. So that's always been my thoughts on it. I don't actually know if the casinos are open here. Restaurants are reopened. Excuse me. I think bars are reopened. So I think most people are trying to get back to normal. But walking around the street, as I was just before we got on, everyone was wearing a mask. So I think people are somewhat getting used to it now, because in March, April time, basically no one was wearing a mask outside. And we don't have to get into it, because you were just in Bratislava, Tallinn, and you said that a lot of people weren't wearing masks there. My opinion is that the virus is real, obviously, and wearing a mask isn't a big deal. Like if you can stop the spread, because you and I are pretty unlikely to suffer from the virus. We're young. It fucks old people, but we could still be at risk. But still, we don't want to be spreading it to other people, right?
That's right.
So just wearing a mask, I don't know. That shouldn't be controversial to me.
It should be. I think you commented or liked or something. I had to put a post on when I was in. It was either in Bratislava or Tallinn. It was one of the two. We'll get back to. I'll talk a bit about them in a minute. Where I had a picture taken, or a couple of pictures taken. One when I was playing in a tournament, and one when I was dealing. in Tallinn back to work, which was a godsend. And I had a few social media messages and comments about being a sheep, um, being this, being that because I wear a mask. Now, it then led me to post on Insta, on Twitter, on Facebook, etc., that, listen, I wear a mask for me, for up here from me. If you don't want to wear a mask, that's you. I'm not going to go, hey, fuck you, fuck you. My beliefs are mine, your beliefs are yours, right? So if you want to wear a mask, wear a mask. If you don't, don't. I'm not going to sit here and fucking listen to your bullshit because you don't agree with me, and you could use that about a hell of a lot of things in life. But unfortunately, in this day and age, now, I'm not saying a mask stops it. It doesn't fucking stop it. Let's not beat around the bush with that either. A mask does not stop it. It may slow it down. But there is more of a chance of you catching, if I go achoo and I've no mask on, there's more of a chance of you catching the germs that I've just spat out, as opposed to if I put on, and I've got it here, the infamous fucking clown mask. So if I sneeze like that,
Yeah.
there's virtually no chance of any spittles or whatever shit's going to come out of that. But that's got one of the filters in the middle of it anyway. It's not just for fashion. Um,
Mhm.
so I've had to put that up because I was getting criticised and. Now, there's been a lot of comments on that saying, yeah, fair enough, you're right, that is your decision. And then people that don't want to wear the mask they've said their own bit. Right, fair enough, that's your decision. But wear a fucking mask or don't wear a fucking mask. But don't have a go at people for doing what they believe is right.
Definitely don't, because there's no harm done to anyone by wearing a mask, obviously. And I saw an infographic. I'm not going to try and find it because I have no source for it. But if both people are wearing a mask, it's pretty hard to transmit the virus. If it's a properly secured medical mask, for example, it comes below 1% if both people are wearing a mask. Believe that or not, I mean, it's I think it's called Pascal's wager, and it was originally applied to God existing. Okay, so if you're right, you mean whatever. Okay, the cost is wearing a mask, and let's say you don't believe in the transmission of the virus or the effectiveness. There's nothing wrong about that. There's no downside to it. You wore a mask for a while. It may have been a bit uncomfortable or a bit unpleasant, whatever. If you're wrong, though, you're actively contributing to spreading a vicious pandemic around. So I'm not getting on my high horse preaching about this. Welcome back, Ross. And it could be an extreme thing with such a highly transmissible disease. I don't know. I'm not a scientist or an epidemiologist. I was going to try and say that word. Maybe I nailed it. Maybe I didn't. So I don't know. But the fact that I don't know means I wear a mask because it just doesn't matter. Like, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, as I said, everybody.
You played a Pokemon with a mask. How was it?
What's that, buddy?
How was wearing a mask in Bratislava?
Bratislava, when we played, I was over there with one of my opinions. I've met him a few times. A fucking legend. One of your good friends, Colin.
Oh yeah.
What a man! By the way, as legends go, he's up there. By the way, and I think he's actually caught the Ross bug as well, because you'll know yourself. I can be contagious, and not in a bad way. Um, so I went over there. It was like a last minute thing due to circumstances. And long story short, me and Colin played for day one. We both made day two now, so you're sitting there for the best part of 12 or 13 hours, and it was 10-handed. So the social distance,
What?
yeah, the social distance thing goes right out the window in Bratislava.
Straight away.
So that goes out the windows. But I'm sitting there. I've got my hood up. I've got my mask on, and it's about 45 degrees in the shade in this fucking place, and the sweat is bellowing off me. And excuse me, I think all the dealers wore masks, which fair play. Every dealer that came to the table, and I've seen all the other ones. Some were my friends. some I hadn't met. Every member of staff actually was wearing a mask. When it came to some of the players, I would say 10% of players wore masks.
Yeah.
Now, whether I agree with that, whether I don't agree with that, the standpoint from when you enter the casino is you have to wear a mask. Not a problem. I will wear a mask. That's the rules. Makes me feel happy. When you enter the poker room, as I said, now that flight there was 10% got paid, 10% went through to day two. There was 950 at one point, including re-entries. So you're looking at 10% of that. So 10% of that got cash, 10% of that wore a mask. So wearing the mask, I just the way I fought and the easiest way I dealt with it was just made no sudden movements, which in my day in life is exactly the same as I do anyway. I don't make any sudden movements unless it's happy hour at the bar. But yeah, it was a bit of a grind. I mean, me and Colin went for something to eat after it at one of the local kebab places after it, and I was drained. I'm not going to lie to you, I was absolutely drained. Now, I don't make many day twos anymore because I don't play much, but I think it was primarily down to having the mask on. You are breathing in your own carbon dioxide a lot of the time, but you're also, it's hard to say. I didn't have a problem wearing a mask, not at all. I made day two, fuckers, so I had no problem. Plus, from a poker point of view, I think it's why or not. I mean, I spoke to my partner about this, and she's like, she's novice. She doesn't know fuck all about poker. And what she said was, why are not more people using the mask as a anti-tail sort of thing? Because a lot of people tell wear a mask and you don't have. I mean, there was a thing. I think it was late last year where DTD were going to bring in. You were not allowed to wear any before Corona came in. You weren't allowed to wear any scarves over, any hoods over, any shit like that. So sunglasses. Yeah, you wearing a mask, it's happy days.
Yeah, 100%. I think that goes hand in hand with trying to protect yourself from poker. But don't you reckon that poker hygiene before was pretty terrible, and that if anything this pandemic has done, it should make us rethink about disease transmission? Like playing with those mucky chips and passing cards around, sneezing on each other. I'm not saying masks has to be the future, or plexiglass is obviously not the long-term future, but I think it's worth having a think, and I think casinos will have to have a little think about all this stuff. Because if the virus does go away, will we learn any lessons from it? And the answer is probably not if the government aren't enforcing you to do anything, the casinos to do any measures, right?
I was in 3 casinos, poker-wise, whilst away. First one was Bratislava. It was Mike Leonard's asking. It was Casino Banco Casino in Bratislava. The second one I was in, we had to come to London to go to Tallinn, so we went to the Hippodrome and visit some friends. Now, the Hippodrome have plexiglass up for the poker tables, and you're forced to wear a mask. The roulette tables, the blackjack tables, all have plexiglass up, so I think you're allowed 3 max to a roulette table. This is in London in the Hippodrome, if you've been. You're not allowed to go to the bar. You have to get. There's a funny bit to this, by the way, which really fucking kind of like, what the fuck? We're at the bar. The guy goes, can't serve you. If you go, you'll get table service. You need to sit down and we'll come over. So, girl comes over, the guy comes over, whatever. Takes the order, comes back with the drinks. There's your receipt to pay. 12.5% fucking service charge. So, you're exploiting the fact that we can't go to the bar to get a drink. You're now taking 12. Now, I don't mind tipping. Like, I'm a tipper. But don't fucking.
Yeah, it's a different issue.
12.5 fucking percent because we can't come to the bar. That's exploitation, man. Anyway, neither here nor there. So, you can't go to the bar. The dealers are wearing masks. The players have to wear masks. There's plexiglass up. I don't agree with it. But a lot of people are moaning about it, and a lot of people are saying, I'm not going to the casino, Grosvenor Casino, Hippodrome Casino, etc., etc. You're all bastards. People need to understand the government are making casinos do this.
Oh yeah, casinos aren't doing it of their own volition.
It's not
Why
casinos
would they
don't want
want
it.
to do
Yeah,
that?
but this is baffling because I see on all the Grosvenor pages and you'll never see me in a fucking casino again. That's ridiculous. The casinos have got their hands tied, guys and girls, man. Jesus Christ. Listen to yourself. Do you think casinos want to cut it down to free to a roulette table? Not a chance.
No, but they still deem it profitable enough to open, or maybe it's a loss leader.
But I think
But
it's a
they're doing
building up.
fine.
I think it's a building up stage as well, Adam. I think it's get people used to being comfortable coming back when this has all been on. Get them used to it. Then you build it up. Then instead of having three people at the table, you make it bigger. You make it four, and then boom, boom, boom. And then by the time I don't think we'll ever get over this. I think it's going to be like the common flu. By the time we get over this, people are more comfortable about coming back into casinos to play poker, to play roulette, to play blackjack. Um, I don't think it'll go away. My thoughts on it are my own thoughts. I think, unfortunately, mental health issues will bear brunt worse than COVID by an absolute country mile, mate.
I think that's a very high possibility, and it's probably going to around about now, around about this 6 month period of where we've been taking the virus seriously. It's going to be start racking up now, and it's pretty sad. And I think there will have to be some meeting in the middle in terms of relaxing stuff.
Yeah. And the other casino I went to was Tallinn, where I was working at the Summer Showdown, done by Olibet and Teresa, who ran it. Now, flying from London Stansted, wearing a mask, have to fill in whatever forms you have to fill in. You land, you clean your hands, passport control, you pull your mask down, they see your face, you go through passport control. We order a taxi to go to the hotel. Taxi comes. Do we have to put the masks on? Taxi driver's like, no. You don't have to have a mask on in the taxi. Okay. Bratislava you did, United Kingdom you do. We go to our hotel. We go to check in. You don't have to wear a mask in the hotel. The only thing that's in the hotel is the hand sanitizer. So you wash your hands with hand sanitizer, etc., etc. So we're checking in. Girl says breakfast is between 7 and 10, and you also have the use of our spa facilities, including swimming pool. I'm like, sorry? Yeah, you can use the swimming pool and the spa facilities. I'm like, okay, fair enough. Come down for breakfast next again day. It is an open buffet, which they had ice cream as well. Yeah, like 7 o'clock in the morning, you can't beat a bit of ice cream. But yeah, it's an open buffet. There is no glass. There is no one bringing you your dinner or breakfast. Sorry, more to the point. So I was like, this is new. Go to the casino. You didn't have to wear a mask. I'm like, right, but there's hand sanitizers everywhere. So, and that's the same in supermarkets as well. You didn't have to wear a mask. And I'm like, this is like COVID or Corona, or whatever you want to call it, hasn't came to Estonia. And I do my homework with this stuff. I'm not like overly into it, but the rate of deaths per 100,000 or the R rate in Estonia is extraordinarily low compared to the rest of.
Congrats to them. They've done great to control it.
And it's like, who's wrong? Is it the UK that's wrong? Is it America that's wrong? Is it Spain that's wrong? Is it Estonia that's right? Or is Estonia wrong with this?
Well, my initial thought is that Estonia was right.
Uh-huh.
They've obviously gone about their business great to control the virus. Mm-hmm. There hasn't been much travel. People have not been into it. But now people are starting to travel. And if you're letting people in, you can't carry on like that. There's nothing specific about Estonia, I would guess, that restricts the transmission of the virus. If you've got foreigners coming in, it's a fact that X percentage of those are going to be carrying the virus actively and are going to transmit it. And it's going to be a fact that you're going to have outbreaks. So, I don't know, should everyone be wearing a mask in every situation? I don't know, probably not. I'd like to think that is not the case long run. But open buffets, we can probably cut those out straight away. The spa, I don't know. My swimming pool in my complex has just started opening. You have to book it in advance, and it's max only people from the household can go, maximum of 4 people. So I guess it's under control, but at least there's some kind of measure for it. What do you think? Do you think Estonia? Do you agree with me that Estonia have done well and are now taking a big risk in opening up?
I agree that they've done brilliantly, to the extent of the rate is one of the lowest in the world, and the fact that they are going about their normal day-to-day life like it never happened, like it hasn't happened. Now, I'm not saying it's right, I'm not saying it's wrong, but flying back into the UK, there is no checks. I flew into London, there is no checks. I flew into Edinburgh, there is no checks. My flight from Estonia to the UK, Estonia is a green zone country. And for instance, Croatia is a red zone country. There was a flight from Zagreb and there was a flight from Tallinn at the same 5 minutes. Now, surely you have to check these red zone people.
Yeah.
But there's none.
It's just incompetency. And that doesn't...
It baffles me.
It's unrelated to Estonia.
No, it's not. It's not nothing to do with Estonia. I'm just saying that if I'm on the same flight as a lot of other people coming from Estonia and we land and we're about to go through passport control, and at the same time the Zagreb flight lands, now you've then got 400 people intermingling through no fault of the passenger's fault in a queue going through passport control. Nobody's asking you if you're using the automatic scanner. Nobody's asking you where you came from because there's nothing there to ask you. It's me, a machine, and I'm touching the machine. My missus said this to me the other day. You're touching the same machine that the person, in front of you's touched. There's no hand sanitizers until you get right through. Now it's like, who's in the wrong here, Adam? Are the people that? Yeah, that's what I mean. But
no, the government.
Correct.
The government and the
media
for not putting measures in, and the airlines and the airport for not being proactive and trying to sort it themselves. But
it's so fucked.
I mean, just because the government aren't making you do it. No, it's fucked. Everyone else has to carry on.
Yeah,
it impacts literally everyone, of course, because it spreads elsewhere. And as Shirley says, Malta did great. They had 3 active cases when Shirley was allowed back over there, and now they've been spreading. So are Estonia being complacent? I'll finish by saying that the UK are incompetent and have been the whole way. Estonia, it sounds like they've done great, but are they being complacent, letting people back in? Are they being greedy, trying to get the tourist economy flowing? Yeah, I'd like to think Estonia can do that and just have a bit more restraint over it. But I don't know. I don't know if the reporting's accurate in either direction. Who knows?
Yeah. Who knows? I'm not going to dwell much more on the corona, COVID, whatever you fucking call it, because listen, we'll be here all night talking about it. I just don't like the way. I know the governments have fucked it. The media, in my opinion, are worse than what the government's doing. The media are reporting one thing, and through first-hand advice, first-hand glance in the airports, I'm seeing completely opposite of what they're reporting, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree with you. Media have not been at all helpful in this. Whether it's overblown or not, I can't say. We're not professionals. We don't have the knowledge to say that, if it's overblown or not. I mean, I feel like it's fine to... My approach to it is like, approach it with caution and like don't get hysterical about it, because that's no good either.
Yep. It's I said a while ago when it was way long ago, that if the media primarily wanted you to believe that eating cat food would stop cancer, in my opinion,
they do good.
15% of the population of any country, if this constantly was in your face, would eat cat food, because this is what the TV and the mainstream media do. It's like if I kidnap you, Adam, God forbid, for one of us, and I put you in a room and I deprive you of certain things, or I constantly tell you, I don't know, Spurs are good, Spurs are good, Spurs are good, Spurs are good, you're going to end up believing Spurs are good.
Really? I mean, that's a tough ask, that one.
But you know what I mean? If
I know
you
what you
feed
mean.
somebody enough fucking bullshit, regardless whether it's football, it's politics, it's about whatever, people fucking believe it. And it's ridiculous how the
Yeah.
media get away with it. It's an absolute shambles. Absolute shambles. Anywho, where are we? Mike Leonard, have I ordered a test, Ross? No, I haven't. I haven't had any symptoms. I can still taste, I can still smell. I haven't been in any red zone countries either. I haven't came into contact with anyone, Mike, that may have it. Now, I understand what you're going to say. You're going to say, but I was in Bratislava for 7 days, London for 1, Estonia for 6 or 7, and there was no ill people. And what I will say is if there was any ill people, they got treated with, stroke dealt with straight away, i.e. they got pulled aside. There was temperature checks in this, Bratislava, I will say that as well as Tallinn. But no, and Mike, as far as I'm aware, the only time I sneeze is when I've got hay fever 2020, not COVID-19. But no, I always listen. My partner works for the NHS, so I've always got to keep myself on my toes in that respect, anyway. So, but I appreciate your sentiment, Mike. You know, thanks for looking out for me. Anywho, so moving on. Spurs in the transfer window. Have we signed anybody, Adam?
Højbjerg from Southampton, who Michael Leonard
Good player.
assures me is a great player.
He is a good player.
And
Joe Hart.
Joe Hart.
Yes.
So he'll be a solid third choice, maybe compete for second choice keeper. I know he's 33. Like, it's not likely, but there's a chance he has a career season within the next few years because keepers can do that. Keepers can play into their 40s. And a lot of keepers will do their best work in their 30s. So whilst it doesn't look likely from where he's been the last few seasons, who knows? Maybe something clicks with him physically and mentally, but probably not. So we need to sign an entire midfield, a backup striker, and a centre back or two, and at least 2 right backs. Not seeing this happening because they want to sell Oreo, who is not our best player ever, but he's all right, and apparently we need to sell him before we can sign someone else. I don't know, man. Like, so much money is locked up in the stadium with debt, loans, all sorts of different structuring. The COVID situation's really fucked everything up. And I don't see how there's money available to Chelsea, primarily spewing all this money on the normal transfer fees. So I don't know if we can compete. And as usual, we'll get left last minute, and maybe we'll get some second choice bargains, but it's not looking good. I'm not optimistic, and I just hope the club gets through this time and can afford to not be in Europe or at least the Champions League for a few years.
Are they in the Europa League?
But, yeah, we got Europa League qualifying, and I guess that starts soon.
Don't even say it. You'll be able to tell me. Don't fucking say it. We just got bumped.
Do you go straight into the group stage?
Eh?
Do you go into the group stage directly?
No, we have to. I don't know because it's hard because we just finished. We had Leverkusen in the second leg about 3 weeks ago because of COVID.
The 2020.
Yeah.
Last season.
Last season. And it's the longest we've been in Europe since we got to the final of the UEFA Cup against Zenit. And it was good, but it was weird because our qualifiers were supposed to start in the next few weeks. But if we had it was weird because if you got to the final of it, how do you know what stage you've got to go into? Because the draw's already made for certain things. There's qualifiers on at the moment for the Champions League, and Celtic are getting beat 1-0 at home.
That's a shame. Of
Ferencváros, the Hungarian champions. But it's all one-legged stuff now. There's none of this two-legged crap. I think Celtic have got home. It's in Glasgow at the moment. And I don't know if it goes to extra time. I take it Glasgow's going to be classed as neutral. So there's not going to be any away goals and stupid stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, there shouldn't be away goals and one-leg ties, you'd think. But
well, this is UEFA we're talking about. I mean, for instance, if it's a two-legged tie and it goes to extra time and the away team score in extra time, that's classed as an away goal, and I don't agree with that.
No, I hate that rule. There is some relevance to being at home in the second leg, But then I don't know if it balances out, but I do hate that rule.
It's crazy.
But it is an advantage to be home in the second leg.
Yeah.
Overall. So.
I do see Chelsea have been very busy in the old transfer windows. Just signed Ben Chilwell for 50 million. Like, come on.
I thought he could have gone for more than that when you think Maguire was 80 million. And
it's just
crazy. Chilwell could potentially have a lot ahead of him.
Because there was talk about Lampard had made an inquiry about getting Messi to London. Now, I know Chelsea do have the money after not being able to spend for the last couple of years with this transfer embargo, but...
That's true, yeah.
I mean, if you're thinking about it, Messi would probably go to London ahead of Manchester. The only reason I think he would go to Manchester, apart from the obvious Pep Guardiola, is the wages, but I would have thought Chelsea could have matched the wages of City.
They'd definitely be in the same ballpark, you'd think. I don't know, City are a bit overboard of that kind of thing, and they are always going to be able to put the best bid on the table. But when you consider the other factors, as you say, I think there's a chance that if both were interested, he would go to Chelsea over City.
Yeah, just because of the logistics side of thing, with London being a lot better than Manchester. I'm not a big fan of London in the slightest, but if I was
I prefer Manchester over London.
Sorry?
I prefer Manchester over London, but if I was a multi-billionaire, approaching billionaire footballer, maybe I'd see it differently.
Yeah. I mean, there was also rumours coming out this morning that Messi's just done this just to get an extended contract, but I think that's bullshit, because all I would think he would have to do is rock up to the president and say, give me what I want. There's a blank check, write down, and it's, but it's ever since Koeman's came in the door, because Ronald Koeman, that great Everton manager, is now taken over at Barcelona, which I think...
Did he get the job? I saw he was favourite for it. I missed that. That's mental.
I think he's just got it out of sentiment, though, isn't he? Because he's former Barcelona legend and all that, so...
Yeah, and I guess Holland were doing well.
And Henrik Larsson's number 2 in Barcelona as well.
Really under Koeman. Nice.
Yeah,
I mean, don't really know too much about that, but it seems an odd appointment.
I think it's...
I don't make sense what you said.
What's that?
When you consider his Everton job, his Everton tenure.
But he was at Southampton before Everton, right?
Rings a bell.
I'm sure
Mike Leonard.
I'm sure he done.
Yeah, I'm sure
he done a good job at Southampton before Everton, and then it's all good. So I mean, going forward with your streaming, do you have any other plans to change things up a bit, or are you just going to continue with the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday streaming?
Yeah, I usually stream Saturdays too. So Monday I don't usually register tournaments, but there's some day 2s, and I've had a day 2 the last few months, to be honest, on Monday. So I usually stream Monday, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
So it's usually 4 or 5 days a week, and that's basically just because of the schedule at the moment. Going forward, I'm not really sure. I'm leaving halfway through WQ because I got to go to Nevada and play a tournament that I want to see for. It got moved online. I have to be in Nevada or New Jersey for it. And I'll take a break then, and I'll come back and probably see another series on every single site, and maybe have enough motivation to click register then. But yeah, the streaming is fun, and I plan to keep that up. Maybe some more variety streams like the marbles and the messing about. I would like to do that going forward. Looking to improve the stream. I'm going to redo my little overlay at the bottom, make that look a bit prettier. Looks a bit scuffed at the moment. And generally continue to steadily grow would be cool. Obviously, there'll be spikes like the deep runs, but if you want to build on Twitch, you just got to keep streaming basically. And I don't sweat the numbers too hard, but it is nice to see a bit of consistent growth, and have been upping the average viewers the last month or two. So it's been fun, and I plan to keep at it. Yeah, How about you? You've downloaded Streamlabs now. You're broadcasting live. What do you reckon? Are you going to start streaming some poker on Twitch or some more interviews or some games? What do you reckon?
Interviews.
What's your oyster now?
Yeah, lobster more like. The interviews have been going well. We've just wrapped up, myself and my editor-in-chief, Gareth Worthington, a good friend of mine, excellent dealer on the poker circuit. We've known each other for a long time. After I'd done the interview with yourself, where was episode 1 for me, Gareth came on board, and then he started helping out with little editing bits. He added some music at the beginning, some graphics effects, some pictures and stuff. I think, was it with you, or was it maybe after the Feraldo one? Maybe after the Feraldo, because it was just me, my laptop, and I would mock up a couple of pictures. For instance, with you, there was the Conor McGregor with the 2 belts, with the champ. With Feraldo, it was 1966 picture with the Triple Crown, with Ludo, fucking Grafton and Andrew Henley, and stuff like that. It's good. I've enjoyed it, and I feel I've evolved myself. It's something. I mean, I love having a chat. I don't think I can collapse at the best of times. I think I've got some good content. The way I do it, I kind of get a grasp on the day before I do the interview. We'll have a little chat. I'll take down the information that I don't know from Wikipedia, from freehand, like mum, dad's name, where you grew up, and then I'll kind of draw that. I'll get some stuff offline, and then we'll just go with it. And we kind of go with a 45 to an hour and 15 minutes in between there, and then we kind of cut it down. Gareth does his magic, and then we kind of go live, as it were, on the Monday when we promote it. But I've had some really good guests, all of them, to be fair. Had a good laugh, had a good joke, good insight into play, into life abroad, and to like working behind the comms desks, and working on the table, behind the table, TD's desk and stuff like that. And we have already recorded episode 1 of season 2. We're just trying to wrap up a few bits and bobs going forward, because it is a lot harder for Gareth, because Gareth, I've got to understand, Gareth has his own life and he has his own stuff, and then, listen, we do this for free. I don't get paid to do it. He doesn't get paid to do it. So we don't make any money out of this. We don't have enough followers, subscribers. Fucking subscribe to make any money out of this. And we don't do it for the money side of things. We do it as an enjoyment. Gareth enjoys doing that, so he tells me. I enjoy the chat. I used to get nervous. I don't really get nervous with it anymore. What I try and do differently than, and I'm not going to name any streams in particular, but I try and do it as if I'm talking to a mate. I try and talk about life, how you grew up, where you grew up, who you grew up with, how did you get into poker. I don't want to constantly focus on percentages and shit like that. Like, they may be up your street, and we'll try and incorporate a little bit of the hand test series and stuff, but how did you feel when you won that? Where did you and the missus go after that? What's your dog's name? Stuff like that. So you're getting to know the real Adam Owen. You're getting to know the real Joe Staple and the real Fraser McIntyre, etc., etc. Because if you want to listen to them talking about poker, there's loads of streams out there. There's loads of videos out there. And I nearly gave away the identity of guest 1, but the guest...
Top secret.
Well, at the moment, I'm not going to let anything slip until soon. There's certain people out there where you can constantly ask the question that's always been asked. And why would I do that when it's just a different accent, a different person asking the question? Try and be more outlandish, as it were. And I think we've done all right. I think we've got a decent enough following, and we're just going to have to roll with it and try and continue.
Yeah, I think you did great. I think offering the unique perspective across the table as the dealer, as someone who's been in the industry a while, I think you offer something different, something that's, to my knowledge, not out there. And I think it's good. I think people enjoy that, and it comes across naturally. It comes across as it is a chat with a mate, a chat with someone you know from the tour, and it's good fun. do you think? What do you think about putting yourself out there in general, like making content? Is that something you're enjoying? Are you enjoying like the process of learning, both just with the interview process and like the tech stuff of it? Like today, we got you fired up on Streamlabs. You're ready to be a Twitch superstar.
Oh, fuck off.
Do you see? Are you enjoying that process, or like?
Yeah.
I see a lot of growth potential for you. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah. I mean, do you mean I'm enjoying what we're doing now, or I'm enjoying the whole?
I mean both. So chatting and getting better at chatting. Like I still stumble over every other word when I stream, especially when I'm trying to play multiple tables. But you seem very natural at chatting. Like I don't know. Are you gonna? Could this lead elsewhere? Could you be a content creator? Could you be an interviewer, a media guy as well as a dealer?
I don't know
What
about
do you reckon?
a constant streamer. I enjoy the job I have when I have it quite a lot. The being able to talk, or the gift of the gab, as it were, in the UK. I many moons ago was a football coach for Livingston and Scottish Football Premier League, and we for the reserves and stuff. And we used to have to do a lot of telly and radio work. And a lot of people do say I've got a face for radio anyway, so it was always good to being able to talk to people that are on X amount of money a week and treat them the same way as him over there. It's on £100 a week. You know, and it's just kind of the same when I'm working and poker, when I'm dealing. I don't care if the tournament is a 250k buy-in or a tenner buy-in. You're getting the same service because that person who's paid for the £10 buy-in, that could be the last tenner. That tenner could be the equivalent to 250k. This guy or girl over here. So, you know, you're going to get the same level of service. I don't treat you any different. Why should I? So when I'm talking to certain people on this, it's just me. And the only rules I have on the podcast is no politics, regardless whether you think you're right or I think you're right. No throwing people under the bus, or you'll get edited out, because the stream isn't about that. The stream's about having a laugh, having a joke, promoting yourself primarily, and talking about the game. You know, I'm not all about like Billy bullshitting people and slandering people. If people want to come on and talk about their life and I was in a bad place or I was in a dark place and talk about mental health issues about themselves, not a problem. We'll talk about it till the cows come home. We've all been affected by it. But when you then come on and start throwing enough shit at somebody else, no, I'm not going to have it. Even if I don't like the person or don't get on with the person, that's not for me. If you want to do that, go on your own Facebook channel or YouTube channel and slander those people all you want. That's you. That's nothing to do with me. Because if you do come on and say it, I'll let you say it. But when the show's finished, me and Gareth will just edit that out, because I'm not for taking the piss out of people. That's bullying, and fuck that. There's enough bullying going on without me adding to it, mate. So
spot on. Sounds absolutely fair to me.
Yeah,
no, I think you're doing great with it, and I think the podcast is going to continue to grow, and it seems like you're enjoying it. And yeah, perhaps there's more along. Like if an industry professional sees your video and thinks, "We want this guy. I want this guy to be doing my interviews at live stops." What do you say? Did you give it a go? Did you give it a whirl?
I would see what they have to offer, because I mean, as I said, it's a package sort of thing. It's me and Gareth who do it. A lot of people have said you do a good job, and they've been very kind in what they say. And Gareth will say, "Oh, it's primarily all you." Nah, it's bullshit. It's a 50-50 thing. He works his fucking magic with the old fingers and the old editing skills and posting the content of pictures and stuff. And if it wasn't for Adam Christ, if it wasn't for Gareth, we wouldn't be having this show, mate. It's so it's primarily a lot to do with him as well. So it would be a joint thing. I mean, I can talk a good game. I can talk for Scotland, England, Ireland, and Wales. Talk enough shite for anybody. But you know, I'm comfortable doing it, and that's just it. So I mean, going forward, I think we'll continue to do what we can. If people want to pick us up, open to all offers.
Slide in the DMs.
Yeah, it's just it is a good thing, and yeah, we like it. We enjoy doing it. One little bit I will say is I've just put a link in the chat. I'm doing this little raffle thing. One of the work colleagues, one of the dealers, unfortunately passed away last month. Mel Lofthouse. I'm not going to beg. I'm just saying that there is prizes there. It's a nice raffle. A lot of poker-related donations have been given to us. All you have to do is donate £1 or buy a ticket for £1 minimum, and you can be in the draw for. Draw gets done tomorrow night at 8 o'clock UK time. The first 5 tickets drawn will win a copy of Vig, The Life of Victor V.I.G. Green. Good book, interesting poker book about by David Lyons. The 6th and 7th tickets out will win copies of Poker Satellite Strategy and PKO Poker Strategy by Barry Carter. 8th will win The Mental Game of Poker Parts 1 and 2. And I think that's the thing that Daryl O'Carney has been tweeting about. I think he's a big part of that book. And the final prize, the main, as it were, prize, will be Chris Moorman's inside story of the world's most successful online poker player. 2 poker DVDs, Lucky You and Rounders. And I think, is that it? Yep. So for £1, you could win part of that. So all proceeds, profits, whatever you want to call it, everything goes to Mel's family. If you can, click the link that I've put on YouTube, buy a ticket for £1. I'll do the draw tomorrow. You could win any of these. I mean, listen, they are lovely prizes, regardless whether it's going to charity or not. They are good prizes. Have a look.
If you want to add in to the prizes an hour of coaching with me, which could have a negative value, feel free to add that on there, Ross. I happily donate my time.
Beautiful. There you go. I'm looking over here. I'm looking here. Adam, that's much appreciated. I will try and update that as possible, or we can work something out. 1 hour of poker strategy, poker coaching. Would you call it?
Whatever you want to do. Hand review, poker strategy. Have a chat. Learn how to be a Twitch master, Streamlabs master.
Hi, Adam.
That is my setting.
I just want. She's turned the winds against me. All right, I never. Woohoo! Yeah, so there you have it. I mean, Adam's been kind enough to donate 1 hour of his time primarily. I will update the stuff. The draw gets done tomorrow night. I mean, we're looking for about £200. I think we're up to about 50 odd. I said it's only one ticket, £1. You can buy it for £1, buy as much as you want. Some great prizes there. Now we've had Adam's chipped in with that. Adam has learnt from the best, and Adam is one of the best. Stats don't lie. 2nd place in one of the biggest ever Party Poker Millions events in Barcelona. Came 3rd in EPT Barcelona, one of the biggest ever Barcelonas as well. You know, I mean, one of the best in the game. Get buying £1. £1 cash money can earn you an hour of time with this man, whatever it is.
You're getting a great price, to be honest. If you say there's only 50 entries in there,
but the thing is, there's 9 prizes. There's £57 being donated, and I think that there's only four entries. So at this moment, as it stands, these 4 people are going to have a good shot at getting all the prizes.
You could scoop. Someone could scoop.
Somebody could scoop cash money. Not cash money, but you know what I mean. But yeah, I'll give it a go. Give it a wee bash. £1. Can't go wrong. Yeah, so I appreciate it. So, I mean, Adam, we'll wrap it up here because I know you are a busy boy. Moving on. Now, you did mention Nevada. You were going to go. Can you just drive over the state line or the border?
I don't think you can drive over. I don't think there's much driving going on at all. You have to prove it's essential travel. But I know 10 plus people who have driven from San Diego to Tijuana and been absolutely fine and just grinded from there, or Rosarito. They did that for Scoop in May. And I think people have been continuing to do that. So essential travel is potentially open-ended. And I know that you're not supposed to be able to fly from States to Canada, but people have been. Like, I think it's quite open-ended. Once you've got a flight booked and you can prove that you're going to be sensible about it, and you have been sensible, I think they're all right. Joe Millwall from my chat has just flown over from England. He flew via Paris, Charles de Gaulle, and yeah, he's in here fine. And we're hoping to get a smooth transition over to the States. Yeah, hopefully that's how it will continue. If people are sensible, they allow travel to continue, and hopefully this all goes away and we'll all be all right. But in the meantime, it's probably best to be sensible about it. That's what I reckon.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one. I mean, do you have to self-isolate when you get to America, or?
No, the only state that we're doing a little bit of a trip after, just visiting some national parks, outside places, and seeing a few mates along the way. But basically, just being to ourselves and being outside in the States. So there shouldn't be too much disease transmission coming from us. But the only state that we're going through that has any kind of restrictions on that is New Mexico. And I think what we're doing is fine. We're just staying one night where we'll be self-isolated. And if we just have food and drink in the car, like we won't have to interact with anyone other than the hotel people. And I think we'll be fine. And that's even if they check us anyway. But obviously, always trying to abide the law, especially in the States, and it should be fine. But if we can't get into a state, I guess we'd drive around it. But hopefully, things are.
You've got in a few states in your time, Adam. I think you could have worded that a wee bit better.
I have been in a real state in your presence many times.
Listen, see the pain that you've caused with this fucking mezcal over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
You bastard.
Do you like the taste of it, or is it just...
I can't remember the fucking taste of it because it doesn't matter. I'm like, woohoo! Me and fucking Colin.
You're not supposed to shot it.
I know you're not supposed to fucking shot it now. It's too late when I'm waking up, I pull my own sweat, shaking like a fucking MFI wardrobe. That's your fault, motherfucker. Talking about, mezcal, cactus drink, beautiful. I'm like, well. Yeah, by the way, Ross, you're only supposed to sip this. Really?
Well, it is like tequila in terms of potency, which is saying enough. But yeah, it's a thicker consistency, right? If you recall, maybe you don't. So it goes down a bit smoother, and it's often served with here.
Yeah, with a worm.
From what I remember,
we had it in.
It's not great in my opinion.
We had it in Bratislava. The only reason I done it, they had. Here's a weird thing for you. In certain places now, over the last month or so, I've been to Poland, Czech Republic, Slovakia, and Estonia, as well as obviously the UK. And everything's different with what's going on. Now, there's some places where you sit down at the table, and to get the menu, you have to get your phone out and scan the QR code, or whatever it is you want to do.
We got that here too.
So, brilliant. But, for instance, we were in Katowice, me and my friend Michael. Michael, who I sent you the video because he didn't know if you remembered him. So we scanned the QR code, and I'm like, brilliant, food menu. Ho-ho! And I'm like to the girl, where's the drinks menu? Because it's not, it's up there. Sorry. So you can touch the drinks menu and open the fucking drinks menu, but you had to, I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So anyway, in Bratislava, I'm looking through the old drinks menu, and I see shots. Obviously, I go directly to jail, shots page, Zambuca, Jaeger bombs, and boom, mezcal. Now, I never used to drink fucking tequila until a little incident in Copenhagen last year, where a friend said that they would drink Jägermeister with me as long as I drank tequila. Now, tequila has always been a lesson learned for me. So fast forward to Bratislava, I see the word mezcal. I was like, fucking Adam, my good friend Adam likes it. Well, let's get, I think there was 7 of us. It's never going to end nice when you're down and sipping stuff. But it was alright, aye. It was magic.
Good stuff. Well, hopefully when you're over here in March, that's the tentative plan for the baptism bash that I'm planning. It was supposed to occur in July.
I know.
You had your flights booked and everything. Such a sad. It's sad losing all this time and losing all these opportunities to do your thing, do everyone's thing. Like it's fucking everyone up. But yeah, hopefully you get over here in March and we can go to a few mezcalerias, like specific bars for mezcal. My mates from all over England, when they came over here, know most of them from uni or from back home. We had a great time going to a few mezcalerias.
Yeah, great times. I can imagine how great the time was, Adam. Yeah. because I get the fear.
It will.
What you saying, buddy?
It will be good when you're over here. We will, when everything's in full service, we'll be enjoying it.
I get the fear even thinking about it, mate, because like I think I was hanging when I got on a flight one of the times, and like if the flight, no disrespect to anybody else on the plane, but if the flight had crashed that day, it would have been less painful than how I was fucking feeling on that plane due to fucking mezcal, motherfucker.
Don't blame me. Don't point that finger at me.
Yeah. So anywho, yeah. So I mean, I think are you gonna stream tonight, or are you just going to be grinding?
Yeah, I'm going to stream. I was just looking at the lobby now. We got 82 minutes of late reg, so I'm going to jump in the $1,000 No Limit Hold'em 6 max. If you're okay with me plugging myself, I'm going to stream like as soon as we hang up here. If you're watching this on a delay, ignore that. Yeah, thanks for hosting me, Ross, having me again. And what do you reckon of this live thing? It's not much difference, right? From us, we just have a chat box. And
It's not much difference. I mean, the thing I do like about the pre-recording, as it were, is you can edit it out, because sometimes some people say some stuff that they might not mean, but because I'm not trying to fucking blow smoke up on us, because it's so comfortable talking, you forget that. Oh, I remember I was out that night with him and we went fucking mental, and you're like, oh shit, maybe I shouldn't have said that. So, sometimes you have to cut it out, or you have to mind your P's and Q's a little bit more. But yeah, it's been enjoyable. I suppose
having the kill switch.
The kill, yeah. Beep, beep, beep.
On Twitch, I had a 4-minute delay. I haven't had to use it yet. But if I did say something that was too much, I have the button there to press. And I've been close a few times. Probably shouldn't say that from pressing the button, but no, you don't. I guess with no delay, you don't have that at all. So, yeah. But going back to what you alluded to just there, when are we next getting on the piss and having a big ruffle?
Right. Well, listen. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I was a ball hair away from coming to Mexico instead of going to Warsaw. That's how fucked up my head was. A lot of people that don't know me, I've had a bit of a rough time in the old last few months, being kind of handcuffed to a laptop trying to work from home. No disrespect to that. It's just 9 years I've been doing the poker dealing job, and I've been travelling here, there, and everywhere. And then to be quarantined, locked down, like a lot of people, for 6 months, it's been hard. So I booked it, packed it, and fucked off on a day's notice to Warsaw to visit a few of my friends. But I would have gladly have went to Mexico. Might never have came back, but yeah, we do have to ruffle. But you've not touched a drop since October. Is that right?
Yeah, that is correct. I've done well, and that's by far the largest amount of time in my post 15-year-old life that I haven't had a drink. So I don't know if it's going to last long, but I'm kind of off like drinking regularly, special occasions and meeting up with mates. It is the best fun, and I don't think that will change. I think I'll always enjoy meeting up for a drink with my mates.
I think when we do meet up, mate, it could hurt one of us more than the other, because you know yourself, there is no in between. There is no whatever you want to call it. It's a case of it's going to get Lionel Messi, as it were. It's never a bad thing. Like it's always good to get on the ruffle. I'm just going to put your Twitch stream in the YouTube channel, because we're going to wrap it up as Adam needs to go. Hi Benny. Hi Mike. Yeah, Mike, you did miss out on the mezcal because you didn't tell me you were there at the same time. So
I think you did hit each other actually. I think Mike was there. Was it Cash Game Tour? Was it like a Cash Game?
I don't know. We were there. It was a poker. The Polish Poker Cup. Now they have still got loads of tournaments going on at the moment, which with decent guarantees in the centre at Banco Casino in Slovakia. So if you do need poker to go to, so I have just put Adam's Twitch stream in the. I'm pointing there because I've got another laptop here. In the YouTube bit, if you click on that, Adam will be online in probably about 10-15 minutes. He'll probably have to run away for a piss right now because we've been talking to her too much. Benny's just had his first drink in months this weekend. Last weekend, you mean, Benny? I wish I could say the same, Benny, because I think there's been a couple of nights where I've drunk the same like as I normally would in about 18 weeks. So yeah, I've been playing catch up. But yeah, so if you go to the YouTube channel, guys, if you're watching in the comments, but I have put Adam's link. Adam will be coming online within the next say 20 minutes. It is great content. He does love a laugh and a joke. Interact with him, talk to him. He will try and get back to you. But you got to understand he does do 4, 5, 6 tables at a time, but he does interact with you. It's on a 4 or a 5 minute delay. Adam, is that correct?
4 minute delay. I bumped up to 5 minutes on like final tables before, but yeah, 4 minutes generally.
And if
I have that kill switch.
Yeah, he's got the doom the kill switch. Yeah, or as dealers call it on the river, the doom switch. Yeah, bye, sir.
Beautiful.
Oh, bye, sir. Boop. But if you do go on his stream, guys, be nice. Don't be a see you next Tuesday. You know, the guy's he's a decent fucking bloke, and he will interact with you. On that note, Adam, you're going to have to tell me how to turn this fucking thing off, though, by the way, because we could be streaming EastEnders in the next 10 minutes. Anyway, guys, thank you very much. Adam, cheers for joining me, my man.
Thanks for having me, Ross, and good luck with the charity drawing tomorrow.
Cheers, boys. Girls, bye.
All right.